Thank you all for watching my video about global sexual slavery and pornography. So I'm going to start off by giving a short explanation of global sexual slavery. So I said that it is selling young women and men for the purpose of monetary gain in exchange for sex. This is usually a forced behavior. Many women are afraid of being blackmailed or of some other ill form of retribution for refusal. And I feel like I definitely started off with this because sexual slavery is never something that people intentionally put themselves into unless there's a reason or a purpose. I feel like even what the book was highlighting, my example was deportation because many women, especially, are forced into sexual slavery in other countries because of the fact that they're afraid that something will happen if they don't put themselves in this position. I know the book highlighted one woman who felt she would be deported back to Santo Domingo if she decided not to um, get into sexual slavery and prostitution also is something that goes on because a lot of people give into prostitution because they need money or because people tell them, okay, this will allow you to get the financial gain that you need if you put yourself in the position to be in the sexual slave trade. And I feel like it's very notable in America, also more notable in countries outside of the US. And I feel like with me saying this is usually a forced behavior is because a lot of the time it is forced by coercion. A lot of these people are forced because they feel like they have no other option or because they feel like this is what they saw in their communities growing up and this is the only way that they can get done what they need to get done. So that is exactly why I feel like the differential association theory applies because many individuals do so because they're afraid of the consequences of refusing and they only give into this life of crime because of the criminals around them that have introduced them into the life of crime. So I said differential association theory because I feel that differential association directly highlights that this is a learned practice and that people are not ultimately born into knowing that this is the life that they want to pursue. I feel like this is something that they learn. This crime is something that they learn, and this crime is something that they are influenced into doing, not something that they ultimately want to do. And I feel like global sexual slavery is something that a lot of people are forced into. It's not something that they're choosing to do. So that's why I decided to use differential association theory. For the next one, cyber porn and pornography and violence. I know that in today's society, pornography, cyber porn, violence, things of that nature are things that have become more notable. They're things that have become more, um, I guess, socially acceptable. But it is something that is still notable to talk about, still something that is very important. So, I said that cyber porn is pornography that is presented on the internet, such as pictures, videos, cartoons, etc. Um, Cyber porn is typically where most people are introduced to porn in this age. I feel like, when porn was first becoming something that was socially, it was presented on the internet. And so for pornography and violence, however, I said that pornography and violence do not have a substantial link, but have been proven to be connected in some ways. So I said that to say, like in the book, there was no specific like link where pornography and violence were ultimately connected, where you could say that there were high um terms of violence when it came to pornography as a direct link, but they have been proven to be connected in ways like men and women have, with the example of the rape myths, give more into the rape myths because of pornography. They give more into the force myths and things of that nature because of what they see on pornography, and it makes them think that things like that are okay. And I also chose to use the differential association theory to promote this idea because the exposure to pornography is learned, and the emotions such as promoting rape theory are also learned. It's something that people are taught. It's something that exposure to pornography is taught. is something that at some point you learn or you understand that it's something that it's okay to you or to other people. And promoting rape theory in those things is taught, is learned. It's what you see, it's what, and it's honestly goes back to the people who are putting out this sort of narrative that rape theory and things like that are okay, the people who are in the porn industry who feel like things like this are okay. And the last thing that I want to talk about is pornography and the internet. So, pornography on the internet talks about the dangers of the easy access to pornography on the internet. So, like I was just saying with cyber porn, it's very easy to look up cyber porn. It's very easy to find it online. It's not something that's hard. It's not something that's difficult to do. And I feel like many people realize that it's very easy to get access to. Not only for those people who are of age, and not only for those people who um, are okay with being, put in that position to uh, kind of watch those type of things and things like that, but to children. Children are not aware of the things that can be presented to them on the internet, and there is no moderation really on the internet. And I know that the book started to get into, is it the parents' job, is it the government's job, whose job is it to protect children from pornography? And I feel like honestly it's everyone's job to protect children from pornography, especially with the easy access that they have to pornography on the internet. I feel like limiting that, the views of that, and not allowing it to be so easy to get to. And I know that the book also was talking about how basically, if you do input moderation, how would that affect, the free will of individuals? How would that affect the freedom of people to look at what they want to look at, to do what they want to do? So the cultural conflict theory I felt associated with this crime because different cultures and norms are conflicted by the moderation of pornography on the internet. So the people who are all for democracy and things of that nature, and freedom of speech and freedom will push back on the moderation of pornography because it would more feel like a dismissal of their rights, a dismissal of who they are and what they want to do in their free time. And I feel like that is why it will be more difficult for um things like the laws to pass for children to not be exposed to pornography, to not be exposed to things of that nature. So I feel like conflict theory works because it's conflicting cultures. It's the culture of parents who are trying to protect their children. It's the culture of people who are trying to make a safer world. People who feel that pornography and violence are linked extremely and directly connected, who are trying to save people from going down that road with rape and violence. And I feel like it's the culture of people who are trying to protect their own self rights and the rights of America in their eyes. So I feel like pornography and the internet is something that many people should dig deeper into and fight more for, because I feel like it is something that is very notable in America and in the US at this time. Thank you.